Hello there, folks. Now it's time for 20 to 11. And all the games in my top 100 are really cool. And then when I get to top 50, they are getting amazing. And then when I get to top 20, they are spectacular. They are, how great they are. I mean, like, of course, that's the meter of my emotions and the liking of the game, of different games in my top 100. Of course, my top 100 cannot compare to my top 20. Although I do really like all the games in my top 100. But now, like, my top 20, like, usually, if I wouldn't do my top 100 usually, I mean, like, it's just too much work, and also there's not, at some point, there's not much difference between maybe 100th place and 19th place. But when I get to my top 20, that's where, wow, everything comes to life. That's where these games are near, like, in my heart, in my soul. It just, these games are like, wow. I cannot even express myself. I'm getting too emotional, I think. But anyway, these are the games that took my emotions to a whole new level. These games just give me chills when I play it, and I want to play it more. Anyway, although the other games are as well right there, but this is a new level. This is a new level. 20 to basically number 1. But yeah, first I'll do 20 to 11, and then Alina will join me for 10 to 1. Anyway, let's go with the list. My number 20 is a game that is really close to my heart. It was a lower or higher, how do you say? Higher on my list? Lower on my list, yeah. Further into bigger numbers last year. And then I went with the emotion, I thought about it, and we played it at some point again. And I felt like, yeah, I know why this game is so close to my heart, to Alina's heart. And that's Mice and Mystics. Wow, Mice and Mystics is in our collection for a few years already. And yes, it's a simple dungeon crawler with that childish theme a little bit. But the story is amazing, in my opinion. The world is amazing. And that's what I like the most about few games, is that they will engage in a story. They will create the story for you. They will create the world for you to follow. When we play the game, we play as Ness, we play as Colin, we play as Maginus. We're not Ilja and Alina. We are those characters in that game over there. And we're feeling like we are the mice going through the sewers, fighting cockroaches and rats and the cats and getting to save the kingdom. We just feel like that. We have all the expansions for Mice and Mystics. We haven't, we didn't go through the first scenario book yet, the base game. But yeah, we played it many times. I mean, like, we went through almost all of the chapters of the base game, but as we have lost quite a few times, each chapter quite a few times, it means that we played it, I don't know how many times. Like, we don't play games usually that much. Even nowadays, when we play a game 3-4 times already, and then it stays in our collection for a longer time unplayed, it's fine, because we constantly get new games and we just cannot keep up with the pace of all the games coming out and coming in our collection as well. So getting 3-4 plays out of the game is also great for us, at least. Anyway, Mice and Mystics is a wonderful design, wonderful graphical layout, the story, amazing production as well. We have the base game and the first expansion miniatures painted as well, which also adds to the theme and feel and emotions. I just, yeah, there's one of the Blender segments for the tail feathers, which is basically like an X-Wing in a Mice and Mystics universe, which we liked as well quite much, but it was a little bit too fiddly for us. But yeah, if No, wait. My first ever segment on Blender is about Mice and Mystics. That tells you something. Anyway, although it's not a good segment, but who cares? Really, really cool game, Mice and Mystics number 20. Number 19. A game I didn't believe in at all by looking at it, but looking at the cover, I think it's childish. It's not for us, and that's Happy Pigs. But surprise, and a great surprise, how good this game is. And I wasn't into the economic games that much. And this is, let me see, yeah, there will be another game. But this is one of those games that changed my mind about economic games. And yeah, you're basically growing pigs, vaccinating them, and then selling them in order to get the most money. Whoever gets the most money at the end of the game will be the winner of the game. And yeah, you're buying some upgrades and you're buying the bigger field. And the coolest part is the action selection, simultaneous action selection, where you have those 4 tiles of actions, different actions, and you will turn face up the season card, and there are 4 seasons, 4 cards, or how many, 3 cards in each, whatever. You turn over the card, and it shows how many action points each action has. Let's say the feeding action has 10 action points, and there are 4 players of us. And we secretly select one of the actions and then we reveal it. If only I have chosen that action, let's say feeding action, I will get all those action points to spend on the card over there. If I will not be the one, let's say there's 3 of us, we have to divide those action points and each one of us will get less action points to spend. So that outguessing, outsmarting your opponents, which I adore in games, that's one of the things I just amazing thing in the games for me. And that adds to the whole aspect of this economy, a little bit of random, but the whole package is just an amazing design, streamlined, wonderful. I have, I have suggested it to one of the gamers in Estonia. She isn't that big of a gamer, but she asked me if I can recommend some kind of a game, a little bit more economic but suitable for children, and that they can still get to understand. And I suggested Happy Pigs. She played it, and then with my next, I usually organize bulk orders. With the next bulk order, she's like, "Get me 3 copies of Happy Pigs." Like, wow, that many? She said, "Yes, this game is amazing. It went so well with the children, but it goes well with the adults as well. It's just an amazing design. If you have skipped it due to the artwork, you can go through there. Once you start doing your growing your pigs and such, they look really cute. Yeah, but the game itself, it's just amazing. You need to play this game. That's Happy Pigs number 19. Number 18, and that's yet another, I would say, economic game. It's a sort of a train game, and that's called Kings of Air and Steam. It's from TMG. Sadly, they will not publish a new edition because they cancelled Kings of Air and Steam Title 4 TMG. But we have the copy. The expansion didn't go well on Kickstarter, didn't funds, and I hope some kind of publisher will pick this up and make wonders with this game. Add the expansion, streamline a little bit. Not even streamlined. There were some problems maybe with the special powers of some characters, but I mean, you can tweak them, and that's it. The game itself is amazing. I looked at this game for a long time, but as it was pick up and deliver, and at that point we didn't really think about pick up and deliver games. It wasn't really engaging for us. We thought like, let it be. But in one of the board game camps in Estonia, we finally tried this game because we really wanted to try this game still, because it looks amazing with those airships and the board and everything. It was an amazing experience. We wanted to buy that copy from the owner, but he refused because he liked the game a lot as well. So we somehow found the copy of the game. It was really hard to find it though. And yeah, it's still in a collection. I still adore it. It's an economic game where you have those airships, and you have the movement programming mechanic there, where you program your airship, and then you wheel the carts, and then you fly with your airship. You will pick up goods, and then you will deliver them to the depots, and from depots, basically, then you have kind of a train. Like imagine a train where from depots they will go to cities. And you will get the money. Whoever gets the most money in the game will win the game. But there is that stock market, or the market where the goods will become more valuable or less valuable, depending on the deliveries and such. And also the cool part is that you can upgrade your airship and get cooler cards, more flexible movement cards into your deck as well, and bigger capacity and such. So it's not like a lot of things going on there, but that there is enough for me. It's a mid-weight Euro game, sort of a pick up and deliver kind of route building game as well, with cool steampunk theme to it. And also we did a Blender segment for that game. If you want to look at that game, at our thoughts, at mine and Lena's thoughts, go check out our Blender segments. Everything is on our channel. That's an amazing, amazing game. And one of the greatest surprises for me, that's Kings of Air and Steam. Number 17. This video is going to be long, but come on, these games are just mind-blowing. Number 17 is a game from a French designer, the same designer as did Archipelago, and that's Four Gods. It's from Chris Bellinger. And now Four Gods kind of takes the idea of Carcassonne, laying tiles, matching the landscape and such, but in real-time aspect. And you're building the world and you are different gods, but you haven't identified yourself yet. So at some point you can grab one of the god tiles and their profits in order to spread them on the map and then get the majority in that land and score the points. And the scoring is, we did the review for that game as well, so you can look at our review as well for longer thoughts and for the explanation of the game. I'm not going to explain it, but I really like the looks of the game and I really like the pace of the game. It's a little bit hard to explain, especially like, it's not hard to explain the mechanics inside the game, but the scoring, like how it all evolves eventually and how you win the game. I want to explain that as well. But once you start playing, it's a half an hour game. And although it's a real-time game where you are building the board together, one board together with the tiles in real time, it's not that fast-paced. At first, yeah, you're pacing up, and at some point you need to think more. And the cool part is that when you grab tiles from the back and you don't want to hold them in your hand because there's the two-hand rule, you will discard them in front of you. But then that means that your opponents can grab the tile from your discard and put it down if they find it suitable for the board. And that's really cool. You're looking at each other's tiles, you're looking at your tiles, trying to get the landscape done as better as possible. At some point grabbing the god, getting the profits on the map, building the cities, but somebody can crush your city if he finds the suitable tile. It's just an amazing experience in half an hour, although the explanation takes you quite a long time. Still, a great game. That's Four Gods, looks amazing, plays amazing. It's, in my opinion, really underrated because, okay, I can understand somewhat, but I mean, like, this game is amazing. Number 17, Four Gods. Number 16, yet another big surprise, because we are not into battle games that much and war games and such. This one looked to be like a war game, a little bit more maybe streamlined, a little bit more like easy war game. That's Topol. We looked at it in Essen, but we didn't get it in any other way. But then we contacted the publisher, I think, or all that. Anyway, we got this game as a review. We reviewed this game. The review is up there on our channel. If you want to go into more detail about the game, you can watch our final thoughts and on my overview of the game as well on our channel. But in this game you are representing moles, and there's a lot of that card play. So you're having cards and grabbing cards. The cards are different actions that you can do on your turn, and you can also move basically. And you're building up the battlefield, and you're trying to create line of sights between two of your moles in order to score points out of that. But you can block each other, you can somewhat destroy each other depending on the cards that you have. in play, because there are a lot of different decks of cards, and you only mix some of them together into the pile of cards for a particular game. So that means, and also there is an expansion brought out, a small pack of expansion. It adds more of those decks of cards, and you can mix and match them, and every game is different due to the different cards, and some games will be more strategical, some games will be more tactical, some games will be with more take that. You can balance it out. You can customize basically the game for yourself as well if you like. Just grab, there are some suggestions, but basically grab a few decks and put them together, and that's it. And that's a lot of variability, and the game is approachable. It's easy to learn, easy to teach, and it's just a great amount of fun in this game. I was amazed. I want to play this game almost all the time, and that's Topol number 16. Number 15, one of the recent plays, and just blowed our mind, and it's Near and Far. Near and Far is a sequel to Above and Below, where you're exploring the whole world. You can play it as a campaign, you can play it as separate maps. There are different modes how you can play this game, but it takes this Above and Below storybook and makes the stories more engaging, more connected to each other, and adds the solid Euro game on top of it. You have those worker placement, you have the town, you are building up in your town, then go questing, and then build your camps to get the points to get to the end game, and then you are going back to town to replenish your supplies, and then go back questing again. I know for some it might feel a little bit that two different games or repetitive or whatever. For us it was just amazing. It's a really solid game. It's the best game Ryan Lockhart has put so far, in my opinion, and it's just an amazing experience with the storybook as well, with this map book and different modes and such, and you can kind of customize the game. So just an amazing experience. That's Near and Far, number 15. Number 14, another game we did a review for. We got the review copy from Days of Wonder. Big thanks to them, because this game is amazing. We played a demo, a prototype of this game in Essen before we got the full production copy, and that's Yamatai from Mark Paquin and Bruno Catala. Bruno Catala involved again. There's one game coming from Mark Paquin in 2018 that's amazing, and we played the demo, but whatever. We're going to talk about Yamatai for now. Yamatai is similar to Five Tribes. And some people say that, no, they are different games, don't try to compare. Come on, guys. You will compare once you play both, because they have a lot of similarities to them. Because like in Five Tribes, you're taking away the meeples from the board. In Yamatai, you are putting down those ships, but basically you're kind of doing the same, but you're basically building up with those ships, with the meeples, whatever they are. From there, you're taking away. The genies, the specialist in Yamatai, buildings and such. It's basically, they have, although I would say they are different games, but they have a lot of similarities. And that's why I like Yamatai as well very much. And it's gorgeous on the table. It takes maybe a longer time to play than Yamatai, and I still do like it's the same two-player variant that's in Five Tribes, in Yamatai as well. It's here, and I do like that. I do like how it has the strategies, and you kind of you're all the same in the beginning, but everything depends on what specialist you will grab, and basically grabbing those specialists will make you unique, will kind of guide you to the strategy as well. And the ship tiles that coming up, the ships as resources, and it's a countdown to the end game. Wow, there's a lot of game. I'm not going to talk much about it. You just watch our review and play through as well if you wanna. So anyway, Yamatai, just an amazing experience. Number 14. Number 13 is a deck building dungeon crawler game, and that's Clank. Now, when we first looked at the Clank, it was like fantasy, dungeon crawler, deck building. Deck building, we do like deck building, but not that much to grab every deck building game. And dungeon crawler and fantasy, who cares? But wow, when we got this game finally, we were like, wow, this game is really amazing. It doesn't feel too much like deck builder, although it has strong deck building element in there. And it doesn't feel too much like dungeon crawler. So they found the midway to blend those two mechanics to make it kind of a unique experience for us. And there's that push your luck element. If you go deeper into the dungeon, it's harder to get out and you might lose. And I have lost so far almost every time, I think, or every time we played it. No, because I always want to go deeper. But who cares? And there's that Clank mechanism as well, where you have those noise tokens and the cubes, and then you will grab the cubes from the back in order to see if the dragon will catch you, and you have certain amount of health. You need to strategize as such in grabbing the different treasures in order to get the points and getting some special abilities. Just an amazing experience. Clank, it's an approachable, accessible game. Maybe I would have loved a little bit better production with the card stock, but we now have the Clank Sunken Treasure, is it called, expansion, where you have those the water side of the board as well. Sorry, really want to try this as well. I think it will be amazing anyway. So Clank number 13, amazing dungeon crawler deck building game, one of the greatest surprise as well on this list for me, at least. Number 12 is a game that, was it in my top 10 of all time at some point? I think, yeah. It dropped a little bit because we haven't played it in a while, but it's still an amazing experience. And when I first played it, it didn't click with me, but when I started thinking about it, I wanted to play it more, but then we eventually got this game and I played it, and I just fell in love with this game. That's Castles of Mad King Ludwig. We have the expansion, we haven't played the expansion due to time limits, but I really want to try expansion because I heard it makes the game even better. But I really like this auction master mechanic where you're setting the prices for the tiles, and then the other players are grabbing those tiles and giving the money to you, and then you need to get enough money to survive the other players' rounds where you need to pay money in order to get those tiles. And you're building your crazy castle the way you want, and you are closing the doors in order to get the bonuses out of that. And it's a bit of that math, but it's really approachable. It's easy to teach and learn. And it's a little bit abstract. It's just about the scoring and such and how you build up your things. But I don't know. I'm not into tile laying games, but this one has changed my mind. Is it my favorite tile laying game out there? Let me see. Yeah, it should be. Yeah, it's my favorite tile laying game out there. It's just an amazing. I really like the looks. I really like how you can build up the crazy castles and the theme itself. So, Castles of Mad King Ludwig, number 12. And finally, number 11 is another dungeon crawler mixed with another mechanic, dexterity, flicking. And that's Catacombs. Of course, the third edition, with the art from Quanche Moria. Now, as well, I didn't, when we bought this game, we're not much into flicking games or dungeon crawler games. But sometimes, when you combine two mechanics you're not really keen of, and make the new game out of it and do it the right way and find the midway between the two mechanics, you can make an amazing game that we will like a lot. Catacombs is one of them. We really like it as a two-player game because then I can control different heroes and can have more opportunities to flick. And Alina has a lot of minions that she can flick, so we feel like even. So I can do a lot of flicks, she can do a lot of flicks. And it feels thematic. You're going through the dungeon, you are flicking some smaller discs as weapons and spells and everything like that. And I always lose, but I don't care. It's really hard to win. It's really hard to win because I'm not flicking that well as well. But I mean, at some point you get to the market, you buy new spells, new cards, new abilities, new weapons. And you feel like, yeah, you're a band of heroes going inside, and the Elena plays the Overlord, and she has lots of minions, and then she's the Skeleton King or whatever. it's just an amazing, it creates the stories for us, and how I went through this dungeon and killed you right here, and how you flicked it all the way past me, and then I just shoot you with the bow, whatever. Wow, the rules are not that well written, I think, and it has that fiddliness of, it has quite a few rules to it. But once you get through that, the experience is just amazing. Like, you don't feel like you're just flicking for nothing. And you don't feel like just a generic dungeon crawler. It's this kind of a blend of two mechanics that made it a well-deserved, great, praise-deserved great game. We backed the Catacombs and Castles on Kickstarter, and I hope that there's a team variant, as I know, and I hope that playing in teams will be really, really cool. I'm waiting for this game. Catacombs, my number 11, one step away from my number 10. Yeah, anyway, these are the amazing games I wanted to talk about. And next time, Alina will join me and we will talk about my top 10, my ultimate top 10, my favorite top 10 games of all time. And wow, there's a lot of talking about those games. Anyway, see you next time. Bye bye.